Thank you for welcoming me onto your headphones. I'm Eddie, reviewing the Queen's Gambit, and this is the rollback. Queen's Gambit is... Man, I have a hard time trying to find anything wrong with this. Perfect, I feel like it may be an overstatement, but perfect, I feel, is also accurate enough to describe this incredible miniseries from Netflix. This film covers the life, or I guess the early years, of one Beth Harmon. Someone who I didn't realize was fictional until about halfway through the series when I googled it. Although it's not a biopic or a biopic series, still an incredible show about a young woman who's born relatively in the 50s and 60s, was the 70s. Born during a time where women were more or less expected to, do their own thing, stay in the kitchen, remain, household, stay in the household. And to which Beth Harmon's character says, fuck that, I'm going to become the best chess player, not in the city, not in the state, not even in this goddamn country. On this floating rock that we call a planet, I will be number one. And god damn it, does she do it. The series is great from beginning to end. It's hard to find any real holes to poke in it. Seemingly every year, there's one or two miniseries that really capture a lot of attention, a lot of critical acclaim, and people say you need to watch this. And to me, the latest one, and to me the best one of the year so far, has been the Queen's Gambit. While it has been a limited series on Netflix, God, I hope they don't do a second season. I don't know where they can go from here. This entire series was great. It's a great balancing act. It's not, there's no way they could have done this movie in a 2-hour film. But also to have it occur over the course of, a season or 2 seasons or 3 seasons or 4 seasons of television, an hour each for 22 episodes, would have also been impossible. This miniseries kind of floats around the perfect, length. It's about 7 to 8 hours long, and they tell the story from beginning to end, from humble beginnings, of her mother killing herself, all the way to challenging the world champion in Russia, on his home turf in Russia. And it just goes from there. Every episode's a new setup to some degree. Every episode kind of built on what occurred before it, and every episode you continue to watch the evolution of this, quite frankly, amazing character. From humble beginnings, at an orphanage after her mother kills herself, Beth Harmon becomes a chess prodigy, and it's very clear she's just a smart person individually, but once she begins to apply herself to chess, she quickly becomes, a big deal. At one point, they have, this 9-year-old girl play, 10 teenage boys at chess, and she kicks every single one of their asses, while being taught by a janitor, how to play. And then it continues to go off from there. This janitor by the name of Mr. Shelby, he really watches out for her and he helps her. He teaches her how to play. He talks to her. He plays chess with her, helps her practice, gives her a book. This guy really watches out for her, and you get the kinship between the two. Personally, I kind of was hoping he was going to adopt her, but they didn't go in that direction. But that's perfectly fine. The series makes a habit of not going exactly where you were expecting and progressing from there. So after an incident when she's a kid, which I'm gonna not spoil, although you know what, fuck it, they catch her trying to take drugs because she thought the drugs were helping her. She's an addict, unfortunately. That's the big character flaw for her, is that she is an addict. Arguably, she may have picked up the trait from her mom, but regardless, she's an addict. Years later, once she's adopted, she begins to pick up chess again, and once again, she's able to see the pieces on the ceiling. She's able to play out full games in her head, and it's all-consuming. Inevitably, it gets to a point where she ends up playing at a tournament to win money, and it progresses from there. She becomes, the local champion, then she becomes the state champion, and then goes to nationals. And you continue to follow her through this journey where, she goes from wearing, second, low-class, hand-me-down clothes to having a taste for the finer things in life, spending extravagantly on really nice clothes, really nice things. And it just progresses from there. Until inevitably they go to, I believe, Rio de Janeiro, I want to say. And she ends up playing the match of her life. She ends up tying when she goes to nationals to become, the U.S. champ. And then the next tournament, I believe, is when she actually faces the big challenge, that being the Russian. Now, granted, I am kind of jumping around a lot in this. Each episode, there's kind of new challenges to take on. Whether it's, the local high school boys, and then it goes on to, the state champion, national champion, and she progresses from within each episode. But getting right down to the big rivalry, it's between her and, quote-unquote, the Russian, Borgov. And this is kind of where it kind of breaks what I was expecting. Even through her relationships with, various people, she ends up playing Borgov, and she loses. She ends up losing to him in a match where I was so sure she was going to win, because you expect that, because it's a Rocky story. Not Rocky, I guess. It's a sports story. You expect the hero to win, but sure enough, she doesn't. It's not till later on, after she picks herself up, that she's able to challenge him again in Russia in a tournament. She gets to him, and she plays through him and beats him. This is the third time around, though, and bear in mind, she's young. She's in her early 20s. This guy is probably in his mid-40s and is considered, again, a world champion, a world-recognized, hey, who's the best? This guy. But the journey along, from getting her to the orphanage all the way to playing him is incredible, because you also see her relationships going with different people and her family and different mindsets. From her relationship with Benny Watts, who, the kid who can't stop playing chess, to Harry Beltek, who quit chess, after she beat him. He kind of grew out of that phase and whatnot. Started having a normal life, living a normal relationship, all the way back to her good friend from the orphanage, Jolene, who really looks out for her, who loves her, who cares about her, who kept up with her. To even we discover Mr. Shelby, who kept up with her as well, and had clippings of her matches and her tournaments in the basement, where he initially taught her to play. And it's in these relationships that she finds the strength to kind of deal with her addiction. Because again, one of the big things in this film in the series, is how to deal with addiction, how she confronts it, how you're supposed to battle your demons. And we see her fall a lot. From her initial addiction as a child, to the tranquilizer pills, to drinking, to just everything. She drinks so much. This young person who's so tiny just drinks so much alcohol. It's genuinely concerning. And you can genuinely see, how sometimes, they glorify addiction and whatnot. But no, this goes into the ugliness of it, the nitty gritty, They take you to the ugly parts that you don't normally see in these series. And again, the relationships that she has to kind of confront and deal with the issues, the loves of her life, the relationship and the partnership she never had, the sister she never had, the mother she has, played by Miss Maria Hiller. She's phenomenal in the show, playing Miss Mrs. Wheatley, I'm sorry. Playing Mrs. Wheatley as her mother, and I thought she was going to be the typical evil stepmom that just, takes all the money but tells her, oh, you suck, or, it's another obstacle to overcome. No. She encourages her, at several points she even says, you should be more of a teenager, go drink, don't, go nuts, but, live your life. There's more to life than just chess, which, let's be real here, Beth Harmon has a bit of a hard time listening to. And again, we watch her progress throughout the series. And this series, by far and large, is carried on the back of Anna Taylor-Joy. An incredible actress. Hollywood's future is secure here, folks. Her performance in this series is phenomenal, to say the least. And I wish I could come up with even more. She's sharp. She's on game. She knows how to play the character. She encapsulates the character. It was hard to tell when she was acting, and I mean that in the best way possible. She very much lived it. She had the mannerisms that she had, her facial expressions during games that told you what's happening, whether she's winning or losing. I'll get into the way the chess is played later on. The fact of the matter is that the manner in which she expresses herself means so much to her performance. And bear in mind, she's a relatively young actress at only 24 years of age. for the most part, her biggest roles have been The Witch, Split, and Glass. She also did star in a role as Emma Woodhouse in the comedy drama Emma earlier this year, where she did receive some well-deserved awards. But I gotta believe, man, that this film had better win her some awards. This series had better win her some awards because she was phenomenal in this. She's an immaculate actress with, from what I understand, a strong reputation, a great reputation. I don't know whatever project she's going to do next, but I can tell you this right now. Watch this series and she will earn all of your respect and then some. Also, to go to the chess in this series, just so you guys are aware, it's accurate. They actually consulted with a real chess expert that kind of walked them through the games and the moves. And for the most part, the handful of chess videos that I've seen that kind of cover this, they all agree. The whole series in general, the showrunners portray it as accurately as possible when it comes to how games are played and played out. Again, this is not a biopic. There's no real trail to fall upon, so they can kind of make it up as they go, but it's still incredible, and the atmosphere is amazing. It's a period piece, but an incredible period piece at that. Netflix really hit it out of the park, and I really hope that there is no follow-up to it, because I hope they really don't. But yes, if you have your Netflix subscription and you have some time, watch this. Me and my wife, Nikki, we were able to watch this series over the course of about 2 days. We watched, I think, like 3 or 4 episodes one day and then the other 3 or 4 the next. Watch this. If you can binge watch it, do it. If you have to watch it over the course of a few days, do that too. This series deserves to be watched. It deserves your attention, and it, quite frankly, will earn your respect. This series is a solid A from me. A, it's incredible. Go watch it. And then let me know what you guys think. Tweet at me. Comment below if you're watching us on YouTube. Share your thoughts with the films with us. We want to hear y'all's opinions. If you're listening to us on YouTube, please like and subscribe. We'd greatly appreciate it. Again, please let us know what can we do to really, help make this channel bigger and better, because that's what we're trying to do. If you're listening to us via podcast, please like and subscribe. Again, we greatly appreciate it. You'll get notifications whenever we put out new episodes. Please and thank you. Well, that's all, folks. I've been Eddie, reviewing The Queen's Gambit, and this was The Roll.